back to Davis Diamond, Texas A&M and McNeese, and the Texas A&M Invitational. Matt and Lou with you, and guess what? We're ready to roll, man.
First pitch, moments away.
Peyton McBride in the circle for the Aggies, and the first pitch from Peyton is a called strike to the left fielder, Justice McClain. Lefty on lefty matchup here. Your Aggie defense, by the way, Moreno in left, Fortenberry in center, Morgan Smith in right. Sarton, Walls, Martinez, Klinger around the infield with Lee behind the plate, and the junior Peyton McBride, lefty in the circle. Bunted foul at the plate by McClain. No balls and 2 strikes to count. McClain, Lou, is the one of 2 lefties in this lineup. .364 batting average heading into this game with a home run and 2 runs driven in.
One of 2 lefties in the lineup. In the earlier game today, A&M lost to Liberty 4-2. Liberty's first 5 in the order were all left-handers, so that's a change of pace. Peyton McBride in the circle, ERA 0.95, record 3-0, 4 appearances already here in 2019.
56-mile-an-hour pitch, and McClain way out in front of that fouls it off towards the Texas A&M dugout. Umpires, Dustin Douglas behind the plate, Pat Lyon at first, and Brian Crochet at third.
That 3-0, 0.95, all phenomenal numbers, but mix that in with the 500 batting average. What a great start to 2019 for Peyton.
McClain, a 3-time all-conference selection in the top of the lineup, a senior from Phoenix, Arizona. Again, way out in front of that at 47 miles an hour, fouls it off. This is the first time you're watching the Aggies play this season. Peyton McBride is never going to overpower you with her pitching. She is very much off speed, but her location and her movement make her a very difficult matchup.
Yeah, she doesn't throw it past or through you. She's just trying to fool you.
This one way inside, misses at 55 miles an hour.
I think
1 ball,
maybe
2 strikes.
The best way to put it, she's trying to make you to take your worst swing, is as she's trying to do to you.
Yeah, a complete change of pace from the hard-throwing pitchers that you tend to see in the game. Saw a ton of success last year, did Peyton in relief. We'll get to that in a minute. This pitch misses, 2 balls and 2 strikes, down and out.
For Peyton, I think she kind of has the same question a little bit as like Potts, it's to finish them off. Her strikeout rate, not bad, not great. 16 strikeouts, 14 2/3, but you'll take a 1-1.
Pitch line down the right field line. It's fair. It's heading towards the corner. Cut off there by Morgan Smith, and that will hold Justice McClain to a single. So a 2-strike base hit to start this game for McNeese.
Pretty swing from McClain on that one. Just pulled it with her. Took it into right field for a leadoff single for the Cowgirls.
Next up to the plate for the Cowgirls, designated player number 6, Demi Boudreau.
So here's the DP, Demi Boudreau.
Coach Evans gave us a scouting report before the first game, and similar to Liberty, McNeese will want to run. They're going to want to create anarchy on the base pass. 4 stolen bases in 4 attempts for McClain at first base.
Fakes going there. That pitch is taken high. Ball 1. Boudreau, right-handed hitting sophomore from Mo, Louisiana, North Vermilion High School. This season hitting .391 with a homer and 5 runs driven in. And like you said, Lou, a big-time threat to steal over at first base.
They like to run. They have stolen bases, 5 of their first 6 hitters. Matter of fact, in the lineup for McNeese.
That curveball misses inside at 56 miles an hour. 2-0 the count to Boudreau. Boudreau 3 for 4 with an RBI in the victory earlier today against Rutgers. Two-0 pitch. 44-mile-an-hour changeup called strike.
Pretty pitch, working high on the zone, got the call. Peyton's pitch, 44, 40, 40, 50. It just after a while, it kind of lulls the hitter.
Mm-hmm. This one fouled off, a right-handed hitter fouling that off up against the Texas A&M dugout to our left. That evens the count.
What's interesting to me, you got an aggressive running team versus Peyton, slower to the plate, the slower pitch, off speed, tougher throw for the catcher. It's just interesting to see how it's all going to play out. Coach Evans out of the dugout, adjusted Kelby Fortenberry from dead center to 3-4 steps towards left center.
2-2 pitch. Runner is going. That one's fouled back onto the net.
Good speed.
Yeah.
That's a lot of speed this weekend, but it's going to help them for SEC play because then when you hit league play, every team has great speed. Athletes up and down the lineup in league play.
McBride set, 2-2 pitch coming. Off the end of the bat, foul towards the McNeese dugout on the right side. And
Boudreaux doing a great job just staying alive there.
Same thing with McLean. She fouled off two strike pitches. You know, we talked about in the first game, if you were with us, this is a sneaky good tournament. If you just look at the names and you don't follow the sport, you think, you know, Liberty, McNeese, Rutgers. But Liberty, a regional finalist last year. This McNeese team was in this College Station regional. Didn't they beat Baylor in the first game of the regional? I'm pretty sure they did. They made a little bit of noise in that tournament, let's put it that way. And then Rutgers, offensive firepower. So this is a very challenging weekend for Texas A&M.
Exactly what you want in week number 2. And, you know, starting off with a loss made the weekend that much tougher.
Slow roller into the circle, runs up the arm of Peyton McBride. She stays with it, picks it up, throws to first for the out.
Obviously you have to field your position, and I would say Peyton is really good in the circle defensively. It was the throw there that almost got away from her.
Yeah. So the runner does move up to second base on that play, Lou, and that puts a runner in scoring position. And this is where we saw Liberty cash in multiple times in that first game today.
Top of the third, it was a backbreaker. It was a 2-out, 2 RBI single. Difference in the game.
Alexandria Saldivar takes a pitch high, ball 1. Right-handed hitting first baseman. She is a junior from Princeton, Texas. Wears number 32. 208 average, no homers, and an RBI.
One thing I've really liked about Peyton this year, walks down. Only 2 walks in her first 14 2/3 innings.
Fouled off the end of the bat, back to the screen at 49 miles an hour.
With the 1 out in this game, I guess we could say 2 walks in her first 15 innings, but still walks down.
Yeah, and that's something she was lights out as a freshman. We'll get to those numbers in a sec. Last year struggled just a little bit with it, but still not bad walk numbers. Definitely better this year. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed up in the zone. Saldivar down in the count, down in the count 1 and 2.
You mentioned last year. Here's the problem: as a reliever, you're coming in with runners on. The walk numbers have to be lower than normal, actually.
Yeah. This is only McBride's 5th career start, and 4 of them come this season. This one fouled onto the net behind home plate. McBride is a freshman, 2-1 with a 309 earned run average. She started 1 game, appeared in 18, 3 saves. And Lou was talking about the walk numbers, 5 walks in 34 innings as a freshman. Last year, 15 walks in 33 innings. So far this year, 2 walks coming into this game in 14 2/3.
And this is her first year starting.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a 46-mile-an-hour changeup, and that is the first strikeout of the game.
Last year, did she make her start her freshman year? I know last year, her sophomore did not make a start.
So 2 down, and that'll bring up the center fielder, the cleanup hitter, Tony Perrin. Perrin, a sophomore from reserve, right outside New Orleans.
You know that Louisiana geography. That's your world, man.
Strike called to Perrin.
You're a Louisiana kid, born, raised,
fed. I have to look up some of these towns. There's a couple of them I've never heard of, and I've heard of most. So that's going to be an in-between inning project in the old Google box. We're going to
start typing in the towns in Louisiana.
0-1 pitch. And that is a ball just off the plate, 57 miles an hour. That's about, Peyton's not going to get above 56, 57, 58. But compared to 44, 45, that's a big difference.
Sure, speeds it up.
2 outs, runner at first for McNeese in the top of the first inning. 1-1 pitch to Perrin. Ground ball at short. Walls has it and throws across the diamond for out number 3. So Peyton McBride and the Aggies work around a lead base hit, and we are on to the bottom half of the first inning. Your Aggies are coming to bat. This is Texas A&M softball from Learfield IMG College. Kicking off the bottom of the first inning, Matt Simon, Louis Bellina with you here. Texas A&M softball. The Aggies facing McNeese in the Texas A&M Invitational. And the first pitch of the inning from Amber Coons to Aggie right fielder Morgan Smith is a called strike 1.
Morgan Smith had an excellent game 1 against Liberty earlier. Hit by a pitch, walk, single, reached 3 times in the game.
This one popped into shallow right center field. Taylor Edwards, the right fielder, moves over, calls off the center fielder, makes the catch.
Did I jinx her? Was that me?
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear anything either.
For family calls, I'm going to say it's you, though. I'll throw you under the bus real quick like.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Nope.
I understand and respect that.
Yep.
I'd do the same.
Oh, I know. So Kelby Fortenberry to the plate. Trying to write my lineup in here. These tournament games are always fun because the lineup turnaround gets here like 5 minutes before the first pitch starts.
11 hits, and we're only in game number 8 for Kelby Fortenberry. 11 hits through the first 7 games.
The lefty drops a bunt left side. Brindley charging, throws, and gets her by a half step at first base. That is all defense. Great play there.
Oh, pretty play by Brindley, charging, throwing, had her body going the right direction towards first. Just pretty play overall.
So 2 down. No score here in the bottom of the first. And Riley Sarton, the All-American third baseman, will step in. Senior from the Fort Worth area, 444 average, 3 homers, 8 runs driven in on the season.
You know, Brindley actually made that look easy.
Yeah. That was a really tough play. Kuntz, first pitch is a called strike. Amber is a sophomore from Monroe. Last year, 22 appearances, 6-2 with a 3.75 earned run average.
7 innings this year, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and 7 opponents batting .222 against.
Did not pitch earlier today. This pitch outside at 57 miles an hour to Riley. That'll even the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Defense for McNeese, McLean in left, Perrin in center, Edwards in right, left to right in the infield, Brindley, McCreary on the left, Geyer and Saldivar on the right, Turbyville behind the plate, Kuntz in the circle.
I'd like to see Riley Sarton get hot again. I mean, who wouldn't? You know, to be fair, if you're an A&M softball fan.
Popped into foul territory on the right side, and it will land right on top the wall past the McNeese dugout.
We mentioned she had 7 hits in her first 7 at-bats, mixing that sack bunt in between. But that also means she's only had 1 hit since, you know, the first 7 at-bats since. So it'd be nice to see her get back on fire, get back on track.
As we said, she's cooled down to 444. That's how white hot she was to start the season. And she was doing that, remember, in 35-degree weather with 15-mile-an-hour winds. That one bounces in, bounces up, and hits Sarton on the leg at 45 miles an hour. And that's a heady play by a senior. That ball bounced, I'm telling you, 10 feet at least in front of the plate. She just stood there and let it hit her.
The batter has the right of way in the batter's box.
Yeah.
You don't have to get out of the way of it. And she didn't. She took the free base. Hannah Mayo has been up in the A&M bullpen since pretty much this game started. But she's been throwing the whole time down there.
So Bailey Klinger to the plate. Riley Sarton at first. 55-mile-an-hour pitch called to strike on the outside part of the plate. Aggies in all white uniforms today. McNeese in blue with a white and yellow stripe across the chest. These two teams will face off again on Sunday.
12:15, the single game on Sunday.
Nice pitch, but it was low. 1 ball, 1 strike the count, 2 outs. If you're just joining us, no score. McNeese had a hit in the first inning, or in their at-bat in this first inning.
Klingler hitting .389 to start the year. Start her career in the maroon and white. One of the many freshmen contributing early in 2019.
This one fouled off to the left side. And she's a kid, I think, coming in. You know, this, with all the changes that we saw in the offseason, this is a class that I thought, you know, there would be some contribution. I'm sure they expected, but they expected many of them to just come in and kind of learn the ropes, get some chances. This, I think, though, is one of the kids that they expected to have a very big instant impact.
I would say that Klingler and Lee, both of them, were expected to from the get-go. Both had the resume. Klingler coming in with the USA under-18 resume.
So it fouled off on the right side. It's going to stay in play and just out of the reach of the first baseman, Saldivar. She was ranging towards the wall past the dugout and was trying to figure out how much room she had and just missed it.
Yeah, and I don't think she ever got a fix on where the wall was to know how much room she was, because she kind of looked and then you notice she pulled up. So
that would have been a good play, but I would say that now Klinger has a little bit of new life here. That was a ball that could have been caught. 1-2 pitch, high. Evens the count with Riley Sarton at first base. Crowd's building a little bit here. Nice crowd. We can see the Reed Arena parking lot out over the center field wall starting to fill up. Aggie baseball will kick off their season in about 30 minutes.
I mentioned Klinger in her resume. Under Armour All-American, Max Preps All-American, Flow Softball All-American in 2018. Member of the All-State team, junior, senior. Led the USA Junior Women's National team to the gold medal.
Longer an issue here, so a little bit of a dusky twilight going here. Really nice night. Kind of scattered clouds, not much of a wind to speak of. It's a beautiful day to be out at Davis Diamond.
Dusky twilight?
I just made that
Is that
up.
like a new crayon color or something in the box?
It sounded,
Dusky twilight?
It sounded very meteorological, so I went with it.
It sounded fancy. I'll give you that.
It's
You would have fooled me in a Scrabble game.
It's all in the delivery. So Corey Mccreary, the 5-hole hitter, will lead things off for McNeese. Right-handed hitter takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. Peyton, being a lefty, she has a lot of movement on her ball, Lou, and that's another way she can be effective against right-handed hitters. She can bring it from off the plate to catch that corner.
Oh, I think that's her entire game.
Yeah.
'Cause again, she's not really going to throw it past you.
Swinging a miss, or actually swinging a foul onto the leg of Mccreary.
She doesn't throw the drop rise. She just throws a ball that you're just how many plates is the ball going to move?
Yeah.
You know, it starts off the plate and means nothing by the time it reaches you. And that's her entire game. She'll set you up. She'll even waste pitches to take your eye to a certain plane. She's fun to watch.
Ground ball at Ashlyn Walls. It's short, and she will throw her out for the first one there. We talked with Joe about Ashlyn before the season, and she's a kid that has talent, for sure has some talent, but her message to her and to really the whole team, make the routine plays. Don't worry about the fancy stuff. Make the routine plays like that.
That's kind of one step at a time, isn't it? First thing you do is make sure you make every play you're supposed to, and then you can worry about doing things that are extraordinary, because if you can't make the everyday plays, you shouldn't be in the starting lineup.
So here's the catcher, Aubrey Turbeville. Misses first pitch to her, misses outside. No score, top of the second inning with one out and nobody on. Turbeville wears number 15. She's a senior from Mesquite, so about 3 hours away from home.
What do you have the most opportunities to make? The everyday play, the every game play, or the extraordinary plays?
I would say the everyday. This pitch fouled
Exactly.
off.
It's called everyday for a reason. It seems obvious, but a lot of times you see those players that make the spectacular plays. They can run halfway across the field, slide, and catch it. But then a ball hit right at them, and it ends up – it's 50-50 chance.
McBride ready. Here's the pitch. This one misses outside. 2-1. We talked with Rob Childress, our baseball coach, on our radio show earlier
I know
today.
he is.
And he said, "Oh no, just introducing him to people." He used the phrase which I loved. He said, "Dominate the boring." That's what they've been telling their kids, and it's the same message. It's dominate the boring, and the rest of it will come to you.
So kind of like my show that I do each day.
That's what we do.
Each day, dominate the boring.
Beautiful pitch from McBride, right down the pipe, 48 miles an hour with movement. Evens the count 2-2.
I like that phrase though. I'll use that.
You can.
Do I have to give him credit? Is it like copyrighted RC?
I'll ask him.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go stop the game and ask him.
Matter of fact, how far are we away? 24 minutes away?
Not far. Ground ball fair inside the bag at third base. Cutting it off is Gabby Moreno and gets it in quickly. So a single with one out off the bat of Aubrey Turbeville.
Nice job picking the ball up in foul territory by Moreno, holding it to a single, which, okay, no harm, no foul. It's just a one-out single. Could have been a lot worse. Nice job by Moreno.
Yeah, Turbeville doing a nice job on that one. Kind of scooted way up in the box, turned on it. And a lot of it's about trying to figure out this timing for Peyton McBride.
Which, when you go up for your second at-bat, the timing will be completely different.
So right fielder Taylor Edwards, another right-handed hitter. Runner at first with one out, no score. Here's the pitch. That is a strike at 57 miles an hour.
You mentioned in the pregame when we were doing the starting lineups, I have, what, 2 left-handers out of the 9? This might be the most right-handed lineup we'll see all year. It's going to be hard-pressed to see less than 2 lefties in a lineup.
Oh, no question, especially with the way that slapping and that offense takes over the game. Fouled off onto the net behind home plate. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Edwards, real limited action so far this year. Not a lot to talk about. 3 for 9 at the plate. Has scored 4 runs, but just not a lot of at-bats for her in this 8th game of the season for McNeese.
Do you know where Moss Bluff, Louisiana is?
I'm not going to tell you.
Well, just wondering. You're the Louisiana guy. That's your home country, home people.
What a pitch there. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 46 miles an hour. She was so far out in front of that, she had almost finished her swing before the ball got to the catcher's glove.
She could have took another cut, I think.
Yeah.
She could have took another cut at that one.
masterful pitch calling there by Kara Dill in the dugout, and then masterful execution by Peyton McBride in the circle. 2 outs, runner at first. Here's Sarah Geyer, one of those 2 lefties in the lineup. The second baseman swings and fouls the first pitch right side. Again, McNeese out of the Southland Conference. Usually we'll see them on the Aggie schedule. They're not too far away. We're looking at probably 4 hours, give or take, by car. This 3 straight NCAA tournaments under James Landreneau. They've won the Southland tournament the last 3 seasons. They've won 2 Southland Conference regular season titles in the last 3 years.
Consistency. Consistently good.
Pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike the count.
And again, they were here last year. We mentioned that. It was Baylor, A&M, McNeese. Who was the 4th school?
Prairie View was the 4.
Prairie View, A&M.
Who we saw on Wednesday here.
A&M run rule victory on Wednesday against Prairie View.
1-1 pitch coming. This is a soft liner into the glove of Bailey Klinger at first base. And that will do it for McNeese. A 2-strike single is stranded at first base, and we will take a scoreless tie into the bottom half of the second inning. This is Innings.
I wonder what she was telling about. Is it like get the bats going? Because they only had 3 hits in the first game. They're, didn't get a hit in the first inning here. Part of they were in a position they were unfamiliar with, and that was chasing the entire game against Liberty and never ended up catching them.
First pitch ripped off the bat of Haley Lee to third base. Throw to first as it looks like she caught it in the air. Peyton McBride's now heading to third base. And Haley Lee, I believe, is out. She didn't even run. I couldn't tell if that ball was caught by the third baseman or not.
Well, that's the call.
Yeah.
Joe's going to say that the ball was trapped on the ground. It wasn't a catch. That's why Haley needed to run. They're going to say it was caught.
Yeah, so it's a double play.
Okay.
Wow.
That's the thing about we don't have TV.
Yeah.
From up here in our area, we couldn't tell if the third baseman, did she catch it or trap it? I'm sorry, the shortstop.
No, it was the third baseman. And Peyton McBride kept running. Haley Lee never left the batter's box. And so now it's 2 outs, nobody on, just like that. 2 hard-hit balls in the inning, nothing to show for it for the Aggies.
Yeah, leadoff single erased on the double play. Again, watching the replay of it now. Boy, and with the ball in that throw, if anybody's running, you could have a runner in scoring position still right now with 1 out.
So 2 outs, and the first pitch to Gabby Moreno is taken for a ball. Gabby from Montgomery, Texas, a sophomore, 4 for 8 at the plate with 3 runs driven in.
Gabby Moreno a year ago, I think we saw her pinch run a couple of times. She didn't have a lot of that many at-bats. We looked at like 6 or 8 a year ago, and we talk about, 10 starters gone, opportunity is open. Now this is one of the players getting a chance.
.2-0 pitch is a called strike. We talked with Riley Sarton, Bailey Klinger first weekend of the season on our radio show, and we asked both of them, player we haven't heard a lot about that you've been really impressed with and you should say people keep an eye on. Bailey Klinger said Gabby Moreno in the outfield.
Nice.
Yeah.
She's looked really good at the plate, taking some really good swings.
This one's up 3-1 the count.
In the field, how about it? She's caught everything hit at her.
Yeah. I mean, she's one of the kids that you can plug into different spots. And this team has some versatility. We'll see how the lineup shakes out. I'm going to be interested to see what's going to look like, say, in a month, 3 weeks. Who's going to be where?
Coach Evans in the final weekend might still be experimenting with her lineup.
Could be. Moreno pops this one up right on top of the bag at first base, and it is squeezed by Saldivar right there. So what looked to be a promising inning for the Aggies gets shut down very quickly, and so we will head to the third. We have no –
The concessions are pretty good here. The old place, the concessions felt like leftover food from the football season. This place, really good. And the hot chocolate, which I'm sure isn't available for sale this weekend, we don't need it. But the high was 82 today, is the rumor I hear.
Rumors.
Gorgeous day.
Well, I'll tell you, that's one of the things that they build into these stadiums. They build
hot
in
chocolate?
Kitchens and places that they can actually, because there's only, you just assume that everything can be cooked right on site, but a lot of these venues don't have that, especially some of the older ones. Fly ball to center field, and Fortenberry will squeeze it for out number 1. Being in the athletics business for so long, I always like to look at new stadiums and look for things, maybe not wrong, but things that maybe would have been done better. I'm looking at it from a fan perspective. I mean, this place, you got a net surrounding everywhere a fan could possibly sit. You're not going to get hit by a foul ball. You have plenty of room between the seats and the seats in front of you. You've got huge standing room only areas behind you here. Plenty of restrooms. I mean, it's a beautiful place.
Everything was thought about. Everything was thought about.
Foul ball off the bat of Justice McClain, who's 1 for 1. And if you're watching on our SEC Plus feed, check out that bad boy behind home plate. That thing, folks, that club, man, that thing is unbelievable.
One of the most impressive things, and this has been tested on the first 2 opening weekends back in May, there's not a bad seat. Every seat is a great angle to the field, to the, just to the action. You don't have a bad seat anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're on the second deck, first deck, behind the plate, left field, right field. Every seat is a great seat at Davis Diamond. And it was Jeff Toole. He went around, and I kind of did it myself on the second game. I wanted to see if that was true. That's fantastic. I mean, how do you pull that off?
That's great. Absolutely great. Called strike to Justice McClain. Here's the 0-2 pitch coming line, shot into center field. It'll bounce in front of Kelby Fortenberry for a base hit.
Nice swing, right back up the middle, right where it was pitched. And you notice that was a ball that had minimal movement from Peyton McBride, too.
Yeah, and we talked about that kid McClain, about all the accolades she's won in her career, and she is 2 for 2 in this game with 2 two-strike base hits. 3 hits McNeese, 2 for McClain, as you said. So Demi Boudreaux to the plate. She is 0 for 1. Aggies and McNeese, no score. 1 out, top of the 3rd inning. The Cowgirls have a threat to steal at first base.
4 stolen bases, 4 attempts. I'm surprised she didn't go on that pitch.
That one's inside, ball 1 at 54 miles an hour. But, yeah, this place has really done an incredible job. Joe Evans and everyone involved with the building of this facility. This will be the home of the SEC softball tournament in May. Next pitch coming here from Peyton McBride. Pitch taken high, 2-0. And the ESPN execs and a lot of the the producers and all the people, the technical folks came in 3 weeks ago to take a look and see how they want to set stuff up, because SEC Network basically moves down to wherever the tournament is, and they were blown away by the setup. Absolutely blown away. This pitch swung on and missed at 56 miles an hour.
Oh, my understanding is when Davis Diamond was built, A&M reached out to ESPN/the SEC Network softball powers that be and said, what are the tips? What do you want for broadcast, right? And A&M actually listened, and as a result, when they came in, like you said, before the season started.
This pitch is outside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
They said, wow, someone took our notes, and you have one of the best broadcast, friendly facilities we've ever seen. Go figure. Took their notes, and they love it.
Runner at first, 1 out. No score here in the top of the 3rd inning. Peyton McBride in the circle. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Demi Boudreaux. Shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a called strike at 50 miles an hour to fill up the count.
Thinking of the SEC tournament and weekend, too, is a little bit of getting ahead of yourself there, but you really can't wait to have the entire SEC gathered here and the media, all of the ESPN SEC Network personalities to just check this place out.
Runner's going to a full count pitch. Called strike 3. Throw down, not in time. And McClain will get the stolen base.
Her 5th in 5 attempts.
Time called. What we got? Oh, no, we're going to have
a left.
Yeah.
They said she left early.
Hang on. The umpires are pulling the team back into the they're trying to huddle up and leave.
This is really strange.
Yeah. Home plate umpire Dustin Douglas talking to Joe Evans.
No.
Yeah, they're going to say she's out.
Okay, they appealed?
At out. The runner that left, they're saying, I suspect she left early. Now, James Landreneau, the head coach, is talking to the first base umpire, Pat Lyon, about this.
So the strikeout should be out 2 and the runner is out 3?
I think so. When you leave early, I should know this rule. If the runner's left early, you can either take the result of the play. Yeah, you can either take the result of the play or the runner left early, I think. So looks like Joe Evans took the runner, which makes sense. 3-2 pitch, grounded to shortstop. Ashlyn Walls will throw her out. So all of that. Well, how about this? We'll take a break, and we'll come and clean this up for you when we come back.
I think you nailed it there at the end. It was a 3-2 pitch, but the scoreboard had erased the 3-2, so all of a sudden it's a batter with no count. You got it right. They just take the pitch off the board, runner left early, out there.
Yeah, okay, so we'll just roll with that. I'm in. No score. Bottom of the 3rd, we go, Aggies and Cowgirls. This is Texas A&M softball from Learfield IMG College. Kelly Martinez swings and misses at the first pitch from Amber Kuntz as we are underway in the home half of the third inning. No score, Aggies and McNeese State. Matt and Lou with you here on a Friday night at Davis Diamond. 2 games tomorrow for the Aggies starting at 12:15. Martinez chops this hard at third. Nice backhand ranging towards the bag by the third baseman Brinley, and she'll throw her out at first. That is nice defense. Lou, that's the second great play we've seen from Brinley at third.
Yeah, she's been fantastic over there in the opportunities, and she hasn't had easy plays either. She's not fielding slow rollers. She had to make the one throw on the run at third earlier in the game.
So 1 out. Here's Ashlyn Walls, the shortstop, left-handed hitter. Stands in with a .385 average, no homers, 4 runs driven in. Called strike 1. Talking with Joe Evans before the season about, a roster, she brought up this kid. She said this is a kid that's always wanted to play at Texas A&M, and they were looking at her. They were interested in her, and she suffered an injury, I think maybe her junior year in high school. I need to get the specs on that. Comes the next offering from Coons. This ball popped up into center field. This will be the second out. So she suffered. It was either, I think it was a broken arm, maybe a broken, whatever it was. The team, they just kind of parted ways. They both went different directions. Opportunity opened up here at Texas A&M, and Ashlyn jumped on it. I think she's going to be a huge addition to this program.
She's going to need to be. I mean, A&M needed a shortstop. Obviously, they had her in. I will tell you right now, in SEC play, every winning team, every NCAA tournament team, they have an upper-level shortstop. That's the nature of the way, the speed game in the SEC.
First pitch to Morgan Smith is a called strike. Smith 0 for 1.
If your infield defense is weak in league play, teams will abuse it. They will hit the ball down. They'll bunt throughout the entire lineup to make you make the play. That's how fast, quick, and athletic they are up and down the lineups.
This one bounces in. Evens the count, a ball and a strike. McNeese has the outfield pretty deep against Morgan Smith, and this kid's got some pop. She's got a triple and a home run already on the season, but a lot of speed. And even the infield's back, so they're expecting her to swing away and swing hard. Amber Kuntz ready. Here's the pitch. That one off the plate, and 2 balls and 1 strike.
5.45 average to start the year. Not bad for the freshman. That's a good way to start your maroon and white career.
6 for 11. Here's what else I like, Lou. 6 for 11, 1 walk, no strikeouts. A leadoff hitter that's at least putting the ball in play is big time.
Is that like jinxing a no-hitter when you point out a kid that has never struck out before?
So let's wait to watch this. Oh, see, it works out great.
No jinx.
Base hit to left field. Opposite field, single for Morgan Smith, her 7th hit of the season.
A little inside-out action there.
Jinx only works for you, I think.
A little inside-out action went the opposite way.
And drove the ball too. It wasn't a flare, a lazy bloop. That ball was hit on the line. So here's Kelby Fortenberry, and as you mentioned, got a little bit of speed over there at first. No stolen bases yet on the year, but something to watch. Kelby was robbed of a base hit on that great defensive play when she bunted towards third base in the first inning.
We talked about it already, Brinley. That was the play referencing.
That ball's hit well into center field, racing back near the track, making the catch. Is Tony Perrin. She was a, step and a half or 2 from the fence.
Gave it a ride. Yeah. Pretty swing by Fortenberry.
All right, on to the 4th. Aggies and Cowgirls. No score here from Davis Diamond. This is Texas A&M softball from Learfield IMG College. Saldivar struck out in the first inning, so she is 0 for 1 officially at the plate. And this one is off the end of the bat, bouncing towards second. Kelly Martinez has it, and she'll throw her out at first. 1 down. I went to the bullpen. Chelsea Reber in the house.
Hey, guys.
How goes it?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
This is the relaxed version of the broadcast based off the TV feed.
Yeah, no, that was a nice play right there by Kelly Martinez. She's had a few that she's bobbled and struggled with a little bit today, so nice to see her just get behind that ball and make the routine play over to first.
Tony Perrin to the plate. 0 for 1 with a ground out in the first inning. First pitch from McBride, slow roller at short. Ashlyn Walls has it, out number 2. We were talking last inning about Ashland, and I've been impressed with her early in the season. I know we got, just 6 games, but still.
Yeah, I have too. You know, she looks composed every time there's a ground ball hit to her, doesn't look nervous. I am interested to see as the season progresses where her range will extend, because there have been a few balls up the middle or even in that 5-6 hole that she hasn't been able to get to, that as a shortstop in the SEC, you have to be able to make a play on some of those.
Corey McCreary line shot, base hit through the left side. McNeese taking their hacks in this inning. They faced 4 pitches and they have 3 balls in play. Base hit, McCreary.
Yeah, they're being very, very aggressive, and you see it work out for McBride in some of those situations. They're almost too far out in front of those pitches. A lot of ground balls off the end of the bat, but in that situation, McCreary was able to make a nice, solid swing, get it right in the sweet spot.
So 4th hit of the game for McNeese. No score here in the top of the 4th inning. 2 outs. Aubrey Turbeville singled in the 2nd inning off Peyton. First pitch of the at-bat coming. Runner fakes going. That one is a ball. We were talking about this a couple innings ago, and you're heading out there. You'll have the call next week here for all the games in Palm Springs. Not to put a ton of pressure on that tournament if you're Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. I'll let you get to it here after this pitch, but how important, how critical do you think that weekend is for A&M as this next pitch is a called strike for A&M's postseason success as you start to build that resume?
Yeah, I think it's really important. And, again, you don't want to put too much pressure on it, but at the same time, when you're in a conference as powerful as the SEC, you look ahead at conference schedule and things get really tough really quick. And so if you can get a couple of big wins out in California, that sets you up.
Runners going, ground ball hit hard at Ashland Walls at short. Nice play on a half hop. And she'll pick it up and throw over for out number 3. We'll continue that thought when we come back, as we are done with a very quick middle of the 4th inning, or top of the 4th inning. No score. Heading to the bottom of the 4th. Aggie softball from Learfield IMG College. Strike there from Amber Kuhn. So we're talking before the break. So you got Nebraska, you got Cal Poly, Arizona State, Oregon, and UCLA, I believe, are all the ranked. Those 3 are ranked. Nebraska and Cal Poly are usually tournament-style teams.
Right.
So big-time challenge in Palm next week.
Yeah, Nebraska actually upsetting Texas A&M out in California last season.
Riley Sarton into left field for a base hit. So A&M with its 2nd runner. She's going to now try to take second. She will slide in safe. The ball gets away, and just like that, the Aggies have a runner 60 feet from home.
Yeah, McLean bobbled this ball in left field and bobbled it enough that Sarton was able to turn on the wheels and slide into second safely. The throw from McLean errant gets over the head of the shortstop who was taking the throw, or I believe the second baseman. Anyway, got into right field, and Sarton with some speed right there, able to get into 3rd.
So we'll see how they score it. I mean, it's clearly an error, but I don't know if it's going to be a continuation error or if they're going to give her. So they're going to give her a double on the play as she picked up on a little bit of the bobble, and then the throwing error will move her to 3rd base. So double and then E7 puts Riley Sarton 60 feet away. What I was going to say there was it's the 2nd time this game, really. That's really not a lot that the Aggies had the lead runner on base. And it's their 1st runner in scoring position tonight. Infield's in for Bailey Klinger. First pitch swung on, lifted into center field. Backing up on the track is Perrin. She will make the catch essentially with her back up against the wall. Job done. Run scores on the sac fly. It's 1-0 A&M.
Yeah, a nice job there by Klinger. At first, I kind of thought, oh, she just popped this ball up, but she really got a piece of this ball all the way back to the warning track was Perrin. In a nice sac fly. You get the run in. You do your job. So great job right there by Bailey Klinger.
Peyton McBride to the plate now. She has a 1-0 lead in the circle. Trying to extend it here.
Well, as a pitcher, great opportunity right here to help yourself out and get on base, get this inning, kind of just keep it going.
That pitch is a ball outside. She has a hit in this game so far. Who were some of the, maybe with Peyton, what did you like out of her this last weekend when you got to see the games?
Yeah, I think Peyton brings so much leadership to this team, and it's not somebody who you expected to be a leader necessarily this year. But Coach even talked about it when we talked to her at the beginning of the season. Peyton kind of has this swag, and she's very composed. She's very calm. She never really looks like, she's flustered, and that's going to be key for Texas A&M this year because they are going to lose some ball games, and they are going to struggle a little bit here and there with the inexperience. And when you can have someone like Peyton to kind of keep everyone calm,
Ball's fouled off on the left side. Nice running attempt by the shortstop.
Especially when she's someone who you're going to have in the circle quite a bit this season. I think that's going to be really key, and that's what I love from Peyton. And I just also have always liked this about McBride. She does a really nice job of separating, I think, her pitching and her hitting. And so even if she's maybe struggling a little bit in the circle with whether it be control or if she's kind of getting rocked, she still comes into the batter's box with a clear mind, and she's ready to be a hitter. She kind of leaves the pitching. And then vice versa. If she's struggling at the plate, that does not mean that she's going to struggle in the circle.
2-1 pitch coming to McBride. It's a called strike to even the count, 2-2. She's someone that the Aggies are going to need on both sides of the thing, no question.
And they might need her at first base. You've got Klinger at first base who's doing a nice job there as a freshman, but the way this infield is for Texas A&M, we might see a few shifts and a few substitutions depending on how this lineup plays out. And Peyton McBride could 100% be seen at first base if they need to. Now, that gets a little bit tricky when they also need to have her in the circle at times. And so that's where Coach Evans and the rest of the coaching staff for Texas A&M have to be careful when deciding when to play her at first. But it's definitely an opportunity and an option, I should say, for the Aggies.
Peyton fouled that pitch off. We're sitting at 2-2 in the count. 1 out, run home for the Aggies here in the 4th. Ground ball on a changeup to the right side. Picked up there at second by Geyer. And we'll throw her out for out number 2.
A little bit of a taste of her own medicine right there.
Yeah.
Peyton McBride's been doing a great job of using her off-speed stuff against McNeese tonight, and they've been struggling with that. In that situation, McBride just way out in front of that off-speed pitch. Got a good piece of it, hit it square on the barrel of the bat, but because she was so far out in front, she lost all that power and ends up just being a routine ground ball over to second.
So 2 outs, and Haley Lee, the catcher, up, lined into a double play back in the 2nd. And here's a kid, Chelsea, as this pitch is taken for a ball that's really going to get thrust into as much of a leadership role as you can have as a freshman. But you're a catcher. They're going to need her big time this year.
I have been so impressed with Haley Lee, and she got the start last weekend in all 5 ball games that Texas A&M had in that tournament, and I just thought she looked really good. She looked like at least a junior.
That one's coming back here. You were ready to dive out the window, weren't you?
I was ready to catch it. No.
Yeah.
As you know, I thought she looked great behind the plate. We did see one error in that last ball game, the overthrow that ended up going into center field against Liberty. But really, besides that, I thought she's just done a really nice job behind the plate. And you're right, they're going to need her, especially kind of in a leadership position behind the plate.
High sky pop-up foul. It should make the bullpen on the left side, and it will.
As a catcher, a lot of people compare you to the quarterback. You are running the defense, especially in the infield, and you're in charge of making sure your pitcher is staying in control and you're on the same page, and there's a lot of responsibility. Now, it's interesting to hear the comparisons between her and Ashley Walters and how there's very little similarity. Haley Lee is going to come at you with a lot more energy. She's going to be a lot more vocal. Walter is definitely a quiet leader. You know, again, you've got to get the job done when you're back there, and I think Haley Lee is a great, great addition to this roster.
That pitch taken high and outside. 2-2 the count. 2 outs here in the 4th. The Aggies have a 1-0 lead. Amber Coon's ready. And here comes the pitch. This ball lined into left field. It'll get down. It'll be a short hop right in front of Justice McClain.
McClain got really, really lucky on that hit. It was a rope into left field, and she came up and kind of just guessed and hoped that would short hop right into her glove, and it did. But you've got to be careful. It's almost like she definitely misjudged it. I think she thought she might be able to get to it, and then when she realized she was not going to catch it in the air, it just skipped right into her glove. But if that ball gets past her, Lee might be at third, at least at second.
For sure. I thought the exact same thing. So 2 outs. Here's Gabby Moreno, popped up to end the 2nd inning, so she's 0 for 1 officially. And this pitch is a ball. They've got to shift it just a hair. Well, they did. They might move them back. They got a couple steps to the right in the outfield against Gabby.
Gabby Moreno is a kid that I really want to see kind of catch fire here pretty soon for Texas A&M. She's someone that Coach Evans was really high on coming into the season, said she's made a lot of improvement. And I think Texas A&M is going to need that from her.
Swing and a miss. Moreno, and caught off the bag at first is Haley Lee, and she will get picked off, and you do not see that very often in college softball. So
No.
picked off at first is Haley Lee. All right, thanks for hanging, Chelsea.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate the time. All right, we will.
Game, but and by the way, we don't have the TV. If you're watching that way, not listening.
Ground ball foul off the bat of Taylor Edwards.
And if you'd like to text Matt or text me, like if you have that official TV replay, but from where we are, the vote's 2-0, and Matt isn't willing to commit. He's in the I don't know, but the two of us have voted that she missed the tag. Haley Lee was safe.
Yeah, I mean, could be, but if you're 15 feet off the bag and the throw beats you there, then I
no,
I
you
can
should
understand.
tag them.
Yeah.
I go where you should still tag them.
The ghost
I don't like
tag.
the ghost at second
Yeah.
either for the double play.
Called
In
strike on the outside part of the plate at 54 miles an hour, 0-2 the count.
So, if
but
you
again, she's got to be a little more heady than that on that play. That's a tough way to end that inning.
Yeah, but you know what? They got the run. They got the lead. They've been trailing 6-3, 9 innings now.
This ball fouled off to the left side, keeps count at 0-2.
Yeah, going back to the Liberty game. That's about 9 innings now. They've been trailing. So, hey, it's kind of like you get to breathe again and just relax, take some of the stress off of it.
I'm totally going to change topics here and talk again about Davis Diamond just because I love it so much.
I respect that.
I just noticed something that I'll bring up here after this pitch. Here comes the 0-2 offering, fouled onto the net. So at the old place, they had the high fence. You couldn't really see what was going on. At the new place, I'm watching these people now. The game has started. The baseball game down the street started. But as fans are walking towards baseball, they're coming to hang out. It's an open area behind center field. There's an elevation to it to where you can stand and watch some of the game. And I'm watching people do that consistently as they walk to baseball. Chopped to short, and there's Ashlyn Walls for the throw over to first for the out.
Someone watching the game now texting into me said TV never showed it. So there is no show of the play. So I'm going to stick with she was safe. So they missed the tag.
So the umpire's decision is probably what's going to stand.
Camera stayed with the catcher.
Yeah.
TV never showed it. So safe at first.
So conspiracy theory? Is that what you're saying?
I don't quite know if the TV's conspiring with the McNeese on this one. That's deep, dark conspiracy right there.
Sarah Geyer takes first pitch outside, ball one. She's 0 for 1 in the game. Peyton McBride has done a nice job today, Lou. 4 1/3, 4 hits, 60 pitches, 2 strikeouts. My favorite number, no walks. This one up in the zone at 46 miles an hour. Misses. 2 balls, no strikes to count.
I'll share my favorite number with you. It's 0. And you said walks, 0 is runs on the board.
You like runs better?
Yeah, that's my favorite number.
Okay, that's I'll give you that.
She's just been very in control. I think she's labored to maybe 2 batters total. Yet no runs allowed, only 4 hits.
Nice pitch, misses off the plate. 3 balls and no strikes now to Geyer.
I say that, she goes 3-0 count. Okay, that's on me.
So we figured that the jinx really lands in your world and not in mine. So far, the numbers have proved it today.
Anything's possible.
We still got a few more innings to play. 3-0 pitch, called strike.
If you weren't with us earlier today, Aggies lose to Liberty, 4-2 the final in that one. So this is the get back on track game for Texas A&M. Take the 4th game here in day 1 action in the A&M Invitational. Beat McNeese, even up your record on the day.
McBride offering, driven into right field. Plenty of room for Morgan Smith. It'll make the catch as she tracks onto the warning track for out number 2.
Hey, down in the count 3-0, and you end up retiring the batter for out number 1, protecting a 1-run lead here.
So 2 down. Haley Brindley, the third baseman, stands in. Aggies lead it 1-0. We're in the 5th inning, top of the 5th, 2 outs, nobody on.
Brindley's been outstanding at third base. A freshman, made a couple of really nice plays in the game.
Peyton McBride ready. First pitch coming. This one grounded right at Riley Sarton at third. She's got it, and she'll throw across the diamond. 1, 2, 3. Goes McNeese. Peyton McBride has now retired 7 of the last 8 hitters, and the Aggies have a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th. This is Texas A&M softball from Learfield IMG College. 8 2/3 so far. It's been good. Walk, 7 strikeouts, 1.62 ERA.
Kind of be interesting to see as the season goes on, the whole concept of how quickly you could adjust when you don't have film, you don't have tape, you haven't seen the pitcher before, because we're talking about first-year starters, freshmen, transfers. You know what I'm talking about? We saw how effective Liberty was by using that one time through at the pitchers. You don't want to overblow one game or one small data size like that. But, and again, here you go. How much tape do they have on McNeese to the pitchers now? So with Flores in, can McNeese just buy 2 more innings of shutout ball to try and take this 1-0 or get the game tied up late here?
Gabby Moreno was at the plate when Haley Lee was picked off first base, allegedly. First pitch to Moreno is a called strike, right-handed hitter.
She sure looked like the tag was missed, that's all. The throw beat her by a mile, but the tag was actually missed. It was like tag on the ground, which missed the body, and she got a hand in. I stand by it.
This one misses outside. Harder thrower for sure here, Flores. Upper 50s right now. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Sniffing around the SEC schedule from today, the millions of games going on. I'm trying to find some that are sort of relevant to Aggie fans and some interesting scores. We'll get to a couple of those here in a bit. Next pitch to Gabby Moreno, swung on and missed in the dirt at 57 miles an hour, 1-2 the count. Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, a tip or recommendation, if you got some free time this weekend, make your way to Davis Diamond, because if today's games are any indicator of the action, it wasn't just A&M games. We had a 2-1 game to start the day, 6-4 with 2 runs in the top of the 7th to win that one, 4-2 A&M Liberty, and this is 1-0 in the 5th. If that's what it's going to be like, it's going to be great action all weekend long.
Gabby Moreno to the right side, hit pretty hard, but a nice play by Geyer at second. She'll throw her out for the first out of the 5th.
Yeah, it's going to be great action all weekend long. I mean, almost to the point you could sit here and watch a neutral game, no A&M playing, and watch some good softball. Some NCAA tournament teams playing softball.
Yeah, as we said earlier, 3 of these teams are in the NCAA tournament last year. Kelly Martinez, 0 for 1. She stands in from the right side. A couple of SEC scores of note. Alabama, 8th-ranked Alabama, squeaks by New Mexico 1-0 out in Tucson, Arizona. That is a final. We'll get to a couple more here. First pitch coming from Flores.
Kajikawa or
Tucson, Arizona.
Tucson.
Arizona.
Yep.
Yeah. 7th-ranked LSU beats Texas 7-1 in St. Petersburg. They lost to Oregon, by the way, who the Aggies will see next weekend. Did LSU 8-4.
Wait, Oregon doesn't even have 9 scholarship players left anymore after everyone transferred.
Yeah, well, they beat LSU earlier.
Wow.
This ball off the end of the bat, trying to get behind the second baseman. Nope, nice running catch by Geyer into the outfield, into shallow right field for out number 2. So LSU splits games today in St. Pete, Tennessee. 6th-ranked Tennessee and St. Pete as well beat Minnesota 4-2. Kentucky rolled Utah 13-2 at St. Petersburg. Ole Miss facing Cal Poly, who the Aggies will see next week. Ole Miss beat them 5-2 out in Los Angeles. Alabama beats the other game of the day. They won again, but they only won 2-0 over South Florida down in Tucson, Arizona. Ashlyn Walls takes a pitch outside, ball 1. Again, scanning through this scores. 6th-ranked Tennessee, 8-0 final over Notre Dame in St. Pete. Notre Dame ranked 24th in the nation. And Florida, Arizona State out in Tempe is an interesting game. That's coming up later tonight. That's all we got on the quick scan of the SEC scores.
Boy, is that game on TV anywhere? I guess not SEC Network because it's at, Arizona State in there. It's one of those. I'd look it up later.
It could be on the Pac-12 network, but I'm not sure. It's it's incredible how you can sit there and do. I mean, where we're sitting now in the sport of softball, you can sit there and you can almost watch any game you want to watch. It's pretty incredible. This pitch is a called strike as Walls offered, 1-2 the count. And speaking of that, you talked about film. It's a little thing, but just one of those things. Remember, all these teams got to watch 5-6 games worth of Texas A&M film before they stepped on the field today.
Every game last weekend on TV, SEC Plus. So every coach has, like you mentioned, Prairie View A&M midweek can be really hardcore about it. 6 games worth of tape.
This pitch fouled off into the stands to our left.
Got to make the play, dude. Got to make the play. Hit him in the hands. And what do they say? If it hits you in the hands, there's no excuse for not making the catch?
Did you see well, you weren't here Wednesday. We had our first foul ball into the press box.
Okay,
Wednesday.
I wasn't here, but did you guys, commemorate the moment? I think I saw that ball on Twitter or
you
something.
Follow me on Twitter? Thanks, man.
No, not you. Trust me.
Yeah, well, that's where we put it. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the ball's sitting up there next to our media relations director, Evan Roberts.
Who?
One of the Eagle sports writers, who's not very sure-handed, dropped a sure catch in the front row of the press box. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus.
Robert Cessna.
I'm just saying I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus.
Robert Cessna.
Down and low. Full count now to Ashlyn Walls.
I guess here's the key. Is he here tonight?
Yes. You can ask him. I'm not saying it was him.
I don't need to know. Robert Cessna. I played softball with him for 8 years, so I know his hands. Lack of.
Payoff pitch to Ashlyn Walls. Ground ball hit hard at first base, and Saldivar's got it, and she'll step on the bag for out number 3. Nice inning by the new pitcher, Celine Flores. 1-2-3 goes Texas A&M. We're on to the 6th. It's 1-0 Aggies over McNeese. This is Texas A&M softball from Learfield IMG College. Third time they've seen her through the lineup, and this is a ball taken low. Next pitch from McBride is inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Aggie defense is the same. Riley Sarton at third.
There you go.
Ashlyn Walls at short. Kelly Martinez at second, and Bailey Klingler at first. I had the button pressed so you could see how long it would take you to figure out how to turn your mic on.
Technical difficulties. You mentioned a key inning. Obviously, it's the top of the order. 1, 2, 3. McLean's already had 2 hits in the game. Half of the total for McNeese. 3 of the 4. Sorry,
Yeah.
3 of the 4
Well,
hits.
I was saying 3-0 count. She has 2 hits, but she's about to get on base again.
You're confusing me here. I thought she had 2 hits.
Hand signals.
Don't work for me.
3-0 pitch, and that misses. So ball 4, and for the third time in this game, Justice McLean with a lot of speeds at first base. This is going to be a big-time inning here with a lot of, again, a lot of speed. She came into the game with 4 stolen bases. We'll see what happens here. She was called leaving early in the last inning, so she's going to try to go again, I got to think.
Well, she had 4 stolen bases and 4 attempts. Now it's 4 and 5 with the leaving early. She has great speed. This whole McNeese team, they like to run. They're extremely aggressive on the base paths.
Here's Demi Boudreau. Takes the first pitch outside ball 1. She's 0 for 2 in the game.
Top of this McNeese order, 364, 391, and then you get to their power, a couple of home runs in the 4-5 spot. So this is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Cowgirls.
2-0 pitch, hard line drive at Ashlyn Walls at short. Got a chance to double her up. She does at first base.
Second time now that at first McLean's gotten herself out, and you understand aggressive, but twice now she's gotten herself out over at first, and it's been a double play. Well, ended up ending the inning the other time. And right there, you talk about key inning, that's the key play.
That ball was hit hard, not a really rope laser, but hit hard, and I just think McLean, it took her just a split second longer than it needed to for her to react to figure out where the ball was, and that cost her. Ashlyn Walls has got a nice arm at shortstop. Well, we've definitely seen that. Ball 1 now to Saldivar. That's a huge play for Texas A&M.
She needed every bit of that strong arm, too, to get McLean at first. We mentioned the great speed. Sure, she was off the bag, but she wasn't that far off, and with her speed could have got back. That was a very strong throw from Walls. But again, McLean twice now, really getting burnt on her own aggressiveness.
2-0 now the count, 1-1 the count to Alexandra Saldivar. She is 0 for 2 in the game. So that wipes out that runner. 2 outs, nobody on here in the 6th. 1-0 Texas A&M. Slow roller off the end of the bat. Martinez has to charge it at second. She's got it. Underhand flip to first, and that will do it. So Peyton McBride faces the minimum on the help with a really nice double play by Ashlyn Walls at shortstop, and we are on to the bottom of the 6th. The Aggies looking for some insurance.
6th inning. I mean, obviously 1, 2, 3 more runs wouldn't hurt things. At this point, the story of the game is Peyton McBride in the circle for me.
Yeah, called strike to Morgan Smith, evens the count at 1-1. Peyton has been very good, kept this McNeese lineup off balance. This is a McNeese lineup that put up 6 runs on 9 hits earlier in the day. And they came in here hitting .260. Averaging about 4 to 5 runs a game on the season. This pitch misses from Flores.
Yeah, they came in here hitting .260, but Peyton also came into this game only allowing opponents to hit .104 against. And I mean, she's only allowed 4 hits. So Peyton McBride is the one who's won this matchup.
2-1 pitch. Lefty taken all the way. It is a ball, 3 balls and 1 strike. Smith, Fortenberry, and Sarton due up. A&M with 4 hits in the game. Morgan's got 1. Riley has 1. Peyton McBride has 1. And Haley Lee has 1.
Be interesting to see how Coach, we're going to visit with her in the postgame, of course. I always look forward to it.
Ground ball rolled foul on the right side.
Head coach Joe Evans does not pull punches. She's honest. She's open. That's one of my favorite things. I can't wait to hear what she's going to win or lose, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what she's going to say about the offense. 3 hits and 2 runs in game number 1. They've got 1 run on 4 hits here after being so explosive through the first 6 games. I'm wondering how she's going to grade the performance. The pitching's been much better they faced today than last weekend. That's for sure, too.
There's 3-2 pitch. This ball in the air into left field. And coming in to make the catch is Justice McClain for out number 1. One of the things Joe brought up preseason to us was she said, hey, we have to stay even keel this year. She's got a very young team, and she's coached long enough to know how emotions run. She goes, we win a big game, we can't act like we won the World Series. And she said, we lose a game in one of our tournaments that maybe we shouldn't lose, we can't act like the season's over.
Correct. They're freshmen. You know, they already have emotional swings. You know, you're a senior, you kind of been there, done that. It helps you have balance.
First pitch to Kelby Fortenberry, misses high, ball 1. Kelby is 0 for 2 in the game.
You know, an interesting part of this, too, is you know how every team establishes its own identity, right? We don't know what this team is. Some teams have great resiliency, right? Other teams are fragile, to be honest with you. We have no clue what this team is yet. They're going to be battle-tested through these 2 weekends. Next weekend, they're going to Cathedral City. They're going to take on 3, if not 4, top 25 teams. Then you're going to go through the first half of SEC play. I mean, challenge after challenge. So we don't even know what this team's identity is going to be. I'm excited by the future of this team.
2-0 the count to Kelby. Here comes the next pitch. That's way high. That one overthrown by Flores. 3 balls and no strikes. Riley Sarton on deck. You know, you mentioned Peyton McBride is doing a great job today, and clearly she has. But to me, the true difference in this game is defense. I mean, McNeese gave up an unearned run in the 4th inning on 1 play, and then the Aggies have made some really slick defensive plays to keep Cowgirls off the scoreboard. That's a called strike.
And they made some slick plays. But what were we talking about? Make every play you should. Like even the double plays they've made, it's good plays, but every one of those they should have made. So just by making the everyday play that we talked about earlier, you know, they've been able to cut down the base runners, caught McClain twice now.
3-1 pitch is a called strike on the inner half. Yeah, I'm going to use the Rob Childress line again. Dominate the boring.
See, you got to it before I did. Thanks.
Well, you had your shot. You were trying to look it up on your phone.
It was too easy right there.
Yeah.
It was too easy to use it right there. I wanted to save it for a special moment.
Count full to Kelby Fortenberry with 1 out. Here's the payoff pitch. This one is hit hard on the ground at short. Comes up, eats up the shortstop. Mccreary, no play.
Fortenberry hit that ball hard. I mean, it's going to have to be an error. It's a play that's supposed to be made. But Fortenberry just smoked that ball hard on the ground. And, you know, McNeese themselves, that's going to be their 3rd error of the game. And what's been very odd about watching them, they have 3 errors, but they've also made some extraordinary plays, especially the 3rd baseman, Brindley, in the game.
Yeah, that's going to be an error, as you said, charged to the shortstop, Mccreary. And that is going to be her 3rd of the season. So runner at first, 1 out. Riley Sarton to the plate. She singled and ended up scoring after the double error on 1 play, and then the next hitter drove her home.
Might be an E6, strike. But I don't want to take away from Fortenberry's swing there because she did hammer it just at the shortstop.
And it took kind of a funky hop. Really, Mccreary let the ball play her. And I think if she gets the ball and makes a throw, she probably gets Kelby, but not by a lot. Maybe a step. You know, like if she was ranging towards the bag, it would have still been a decent play. Time called. And the catcher, Turbeville, is asking the dugout to go through the signs again. So 0-1 the count to Riley Sarton, 1 out, runner at first base for Texas A&M. The Aggies lead it 1-0 here in the 6th. This one down, 1 ball, 1 strike to the senior. One of the things about Riley is, and Joe was trying to make sure that she wasn't putting too much pressure on this kid to lead this team. And we asked Riley about stepping into really the leader role on this team, because she's very much a lead by example type person. Here comes the next pitch. 1-1 count to her. Grounded into the circle. Pitcher's going to go to second. She's not going to get it there in time. Fortenberry safe. So a fielder's choice, and the Aggies in business here in the 6th.
Pure speed from Fortenberry. Throw, not really a whole lot on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So 2 on and 1 out. To finish that thought on Riley, I asked her about it, about being the leader, and she said, you know, I didn't have a choice. She embraces it. She's not like she didn't want it, because I had to do this for my team. And Joe says really the legacy she's going to leave for this team, she's got the banner, all this other stuff, is what she teaches this young group, which Joe thinks will lead to some very special things down the road. Klinger to the plate, 0 for 1, the sac fly. First pitch is a ball.
If you take a look at the incoming class, we've already talked about the transfers and the freshmen. And then you got the California-based class that's expected for 2020. And even behind that, if you're really following A&M recruiting, right, within 2 years, there's a very, very special group of players that are going to be gathered here at Davis Diamond.
Rolls the ball to third, goes to second, gets the first out there, on to first, not in time. So
and
Bailey,
it's going to begin.
Yeah.
You cannot stress enough the importance. This group has to lay the foundation, or the next two groups have to catch up for a lost class kind of thing. There's so much work that has to be done this year by this group, and you just said it, though, and Riley Sarton's the one that's leading them, teaching them, show them the way.
Yeah, 2 outs now, runners at the corners with a 1-0 Aggie lead. Yeah, and that's what she said. She said, I asked her, I goes, Joe, if you can get what you think you can get out of this group, however the season plays out, if you can get what you get, she said, I think this group can lay the foundation for something really special here. And like you said, the classes coming in after this group, this is a great class. The next couple classes are stacked, big time stacked. And the first pitch is a ball to Peyton McBride, the pitcher. And they're excited about what they've got now. And they're excited about what they got in that dugout. This is not one of these years that they're just saying, okay, well, we're going to struggle this year. They like what they got in that dugout. But when you combine that with what's coming.
I've never known Coach Evans to concede an inning, let alone a game. No. When you talk about one of those years, Coach doesn't play that way.
No. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch to McBride. Pitch down, 2 balls and no strikes. And how big is this at bat here? If the Aggies could cash in another miscue by McNeese with a 2-out base hit.
It'd be a second unearned run. And time's going to be called to talk about it. The key to the whole season for this Aggie softball team is going to be they don't have the top-end talent like they had the last 2 years, like when they went to the College World Series 2 seasons ago. Last year, they beat Florida 2 times but somehow did not advance out of the Super Regional, right? They don't have that Tori Vidalis. What they do have is freshmen that might end up being Tori Vidalis. They have Riley Sarton, who's an All-American. They've got parts. They probably just don't have enough of them to make that College World Series run. But they can win games. They can make the NCAA tournament. They can get better every week. And the key is, we've talked about this, they just have to make the ordinary plays. They cannot give a 4-out inning, by the way.
Yeah.
If this team and this pitching staff, they can't give 4-out innings. They can't give anything to the other team. And when they get an opportunity, they get a 4-out inning, they have to make the other team pay.
The meeting in the circle, James Landrino, the McNeese head coach, was in there. That's done. And during that time, Maddie Yatzlau came in to pinch run over at first for Bailey Klinger. So speed on the corners for Texas A&M, and Kelby Fortenberry at third and Yatzlau at first. 2-0 the count to Peyton McBride, the Aggie pitcher. Runner went part of the way and then stopped. That pitch misses. 3 balls and no strikes. Yatzlau went about a third of the way and just put on the brakes.
Something to remember with this weekend and this tournament, we talked about it. McNeese, 3 straight NCAA tournaments. Liberty, who the Aggies lost to earlier today, NCAA regional final last year.
This pitch is a called strike at 56 miles an hour, 3-1 the count.
So A&M lost 4-2, and they're playing a 1-0 game, and that's against 2 teams. Again, NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
And would you be stunned if McNeese wins their 4th straight? No.
Three-one pitch to Peyton McBride. Chopped into the circle, snow-coned in the circle by Flores, and she will throw over to first to get the out. So the Aggies will strand 2, and McNeese escapes a possible unearned run. We are heading to the 7th. Aggies looking for 3 outs. They lead McNeese 1-0. This is Texas. 6 innings of work, no runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts.
2 of the 4 McNeese hits, though, are on deck and in the hole.
Pulls a string on that, 45 miles an hour, swung on and missed, strike 2.
76 pitches in the game, outstanding work for Peyton McBride. Less than 11 pitches an inning.
No balls, 2 strikes, the count. Here's the pitch. This one's high, 58 miles an hour. You can see her putting a little more juice behind it here. She's in the final inning.
I guess I should do my math better. I did less than You know, I'm bad with math. I did it based on 7 innings.
You shouldn't have said
innings.
anything. You should have just rolled
No,
with it.
I
'Cause
got
you
to
said
be
it with
honest here.
You said it with
It was
confidence.
about 14 innings, 14 per, which I think Coach said 17 is the number.
Way up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes now the count. Bullpen for the Aggies is quiet, in case you were wondering. Defense straight away, normal depth, everything pretty much standard right now. 2-2 the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got her to chase out of the zone.
Oh, fooled her horribly. Perrin, I still don't think knows what that pitch was. She was guessing all the way. That's what Peyton can do to you with the different speeds, and we talked about it. That ball just starts out on the on-deck circle, and you don't know how far back it's coming, and you just find yourself guessing. Great pitch from Peyton McBride for the strikeout and out number 1.
Here's Corey McCreary, the shortstop. She's 1 for 2. This ball hit deep to left field, and it is gone off the top of the scoreboard.
That ball hit the tee in softball, which is at the top of the video board to dead left field. That's beyond a no-doubter. That was going to threaten Reed Arena parking lot, I think. We're tied at 1. Peyton McBride has pitched a fantastic game, but one pitch, one mistake, no, pretty swing. Give credit where it's due. Give credit to Mccreary. Her second hit of the game, only the 5th hit total for McNeese, but now we're tied at 1.
And for Peyton, that is the 2nd home run she's allowed all season, and really hate to see that if you're the Aggies, because she's really pitched a heck of a game.
I'm happy the letters are okay at the top of the video board.
First pitch misses to Aubrey Turbeville. For McCreary, that is her 2nd home run of the season.
Remember when you had, what was her name, Chelsea, here with you in the 4th inning? She was talking about the even keel of a Peyton McBride. This is where that will come in, because you were 2 outs away. You just struck out the first batter. You're cruising along to a victory, and that's like a jolt. That's a thunderbolt out of nowhere, but Peyton, with her demeanor, she's built for this.
Yeah, and misses on the first 2 pitches to Turbeville, and now the catcher Haley Lee out to talk to her pitcher. So a whole new ball game there. There haven't been a lot of chances for either team. Both teams with runners in scoring position today just 0 for 2. So it's not like they're leaving a bunch of people on base. And that one's a called strike at 57 miles an hour.
Say not a bunch of chances. Well, you know, that infamous, you know, when you're at home plate, I guess that's a chance to score. That was a solo shot from Mccreary. And they get no doubter.
Yeah, that pitch is, next pitch is outside, 3-1. That ball hit off one of the letters up there and bounced.
Was it the T or the B? I thought it was the T, but
I think it was the B, because it bounced off to the right. Like it was inches from clearing the entire scoreboard.
Oh, so you say B, I say T, and our guest host here says it hit both. It hit in between them.
Yeah, this one fouled off to the right side into the grounds crew area. The count goes full. Regardless, our point is it was a no-doubt home run. And it came very close to clearing the entire scoreboard.
So you get your outs, get your offense back at the plate, get your 1 run, get your victory, move on. You got Lee Moreno and Martinez due up, 3 of your better sticks.
This one jam shot right side in foul territory. Bailey Klinger, the first baseman, will make the basket catch for out number 2.
Aggies trying to bounce back. We mentioned that first game of the day they played Liberty, 4-2. Lady Flames took the victory in our offensive lineup that we have. So on deck is Blake and Fritch, actually.
So they are going to leave Blake Ann in to hit. This one is a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Lee, her lone home run of the season was of the, quote, walk-off variety. It was one of the ones that invokes the run rule. It was
3-run blast.
Tournament. Yeah. So she does have a home run on the season.
Center field, no doubt.
I think so. I think it was dead center. There's the pitch out in front of that one, swung on and missed, and that evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Big swing on that one. Lost her hand off of the bat. I think she was trying to walk it off again.
Swung on a miss, strike 3, down in the dirt. They'll have to throw down to get her at first, but that'll be taken care of. 1 out, and Flores was just down and down and down and down in the zone to her the whole at bat and got the out.
Did you see her slap herself in the helmet as she was running down to first? And she kind of knew she got herself out on that one. Do you remember, I think it was the second at-bat of the game for her, where they worked high on her, though? And she got her, you know, she had strike 1 and 2 swinging. It was on the same pitch, and she knew better there. This will be good tape for, you know, Coach Stein to work with her on, I think.
So here is Blake Ann Fritsch, first at-bat of this game. She started the first game, came in defensively in the last half inning, runs up and takes, but it is a strike. No balls and 1 strike. 1-1 our score, bottom of the 7th inning. Texas A&M leads McNeese. Blake Ann so far on the season is 2 for 11 at the plate, has scored 4 runs.
A little frustrating when you've out-hit them and they've committed 3 errors, yet you're still tied with them at 1.
Runs up, slaps at that, swings and misses, strike 2. On deck, by the way, for Texas A&M, Kelly Martinez was scheduled. It is Abby Smith waiting to hit down there.
Had a 2-run pinch hit home run on the opening weekend. Mix in a couple other hits, some really good at-bats overall on the opening weekend. Got to start after that pinch hit 2-run home run.
This one bounces in. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 7th inning. Aggies and Cowgirls tied at 1. If you're just joining us, the Aggies scored in the 4th inning. Sacrifice fly. McNeese with a solo home run in the top half of this frame.
1 run, 5 hits, no errors for the Aggies. 1 run, 4 hits, 3 errors committed by McNeese. I think the Aggie crowd's stunned. They were a little bit louder prior to that home run by McNeese at the top of the 7th.
This one slap foul in front of the, or right on top of and behind the plate. Stays at 1 and 2 to Blake Ann. Again, 2 games tomorrow for the Aggies, 12:15 and 3 o'clock. Another game on Sunday at 12:15. Then the Aggies hit the road. They head to Palm Springs for 5 games. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got Blake Ann to chase. That's that old right-handed pitcher throwing it low and out to the left-handed slapper, and it was textbook. It was a strikeout.
That Palm Springs tournament's become an annual thing for Coach Evans. You know, A&M has changed their scheduling philosophy since they hit SEC play. Coach used to take the team out 3-4 times in the non-conference play, but in SEC play, you don't need RPI. You'll get plenty. She'll still take them out 1 weekend now, in Cathedral City is her tournament of choice. Where, you know, she's only playing 3 or 4 ranked teams this time. Normally it's 4 or 5.
Exactly. There's like 600 of them out there.
They go out in the desert, play in this great fun field, massive weekend. Oh, man, and it's a great challenge, too. Should be a fun weekend. Tough weekend, too. It starts on Thursday, by the way.
Yeah, Thursday night. So here's the pinch hitter, Abby Smith, the sophomore right-handed hitter, stands in, as you heard Lou say. 3 for 5 at the plate with a home run this season. First pitch, outside, ball 1. In our preseason meeting with Joe, we talked about Abby, and she said she has made great strides offensively in the offseason, and most definitely her game is power hitter.
Well, I'll say that showed up on the opening weekend because it wasn't just the home run. Even the other hits she had. She had a walk mixed in there, too. Showed a really good eye and good patience to take even the walk.
There's the 1-0 pitch. That one on the outer half of the plate, strike 1 called. That's a nice pitch by Flores because if Smith's able to get to it, she probably can't do a whole lot with it.
I remember the only at-bat last weekend that you would put down if you looked at just the box score is when a bad call by the umpire kind of altered the at-bat. 3-0 that was almost over her head. You know, it's automatic, but even sometimes you should call ball 4. And it just kind of altered the at-bat from there.
1-1 pitch, grounded at shortstop, backhanded there by Mccreary, throws across her body for the out. And that will do it. We are on to extra innings here at Davis Diamond. Aggies won.
Teams involved forgot about it. They didn't use it to start. That's a game that ended up going 13 innings. Cal Baptist versus...
Yeah, one of those teams that hadn't played D1 softball yet. It was their first game.
That's Cal Baptist's first game ever. And the umpires who were in charge didn't remember either. That was their... They were supposed to invoke it, and sure enough, you forget a rule and you play 13 innings of softball. I don't think Coach Evans will let people forget.
Yeah, well, Joe brought over the home plate umpire, Dustin Douglas, just to remind him. It's a tournament, so sometimes the umpires aren't used to the rules of how the tournament's laid out. Taylor Edwards should be the runner, and it is going to be Taylor Edwards. So, again, if you're unfamiliar with this rule or if you're listening to us and not here, international tiebreaker, what it does is it puts the last out of the last inning on second base. So the goal of this is to speed up the play, but what it does is it gives a runner in scoring position to just start the inning. So Taylor Edwards is at second base here to start the 8th inning. And Sarah Geyer, 8, Haley Brindley in the 9-hole, and Justice McClain leadoff will be the 3 hitters due up today.
Do you think we still need the international tiebreaker rule? And the reason why I ask is softball used to play 1-0 games in 23 innings, right? And now that you think about it, the game has runs. Do you need an international tiebreaker? But then again, when you're playing 4 games in one day at one field and it's a non-conference tournament like this, you also have the, hey, we're going to be here all weekend, so why not get the run out there? I was just kind of wondering about that.
Peyton Williams, by the way, is going to come in and pinch run. Number 10 is at second base. So usually what you see here is a lot of small ball, and we'll see how McNeese plays it. They drop a beautiful bunt left side. Riley Sarton, at third baseman, has it over to Kelly Martinez at first. Really nice defense by Texas A&M, but for McNeese, it gets the job done on the sacrifice by Geyer.
Tough throw, too, for Riley Sarton. That ball was towards the chalk, so the throw really on the runner on the line and just really made it look easy. Made a clean throw to the second baseman, Martinez, covering, but there's the runner in scoring position, the pinch runner, Williams, for McNeese with only 1 out.
All right, this will bring up Haley Brindley, the third baseman. Aggies will pull the infield in. Again, Peyton Williams. Actually, we're going to have a pinch hitter. Snuck that one in on me. Bernique Wright, the junior from Moore, Oklahoma, right outside Oklahoma City, will stand in. First pitch called strike 1. Bernique Wright is hitting for Haley Brindley. And for Bernique, 267 hitter, a regular starter. Was probably giving her the day off or this game off. Has an RBI on the season.
Now, taking a look, she didn't start or appear in the first game. You say a regular starter.
No, she's got 4 starts in 6 games this year. This next pitch by McBride, beautiful on the outer half. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Right-handed hitter.
Runner third, 1 out, but you got the 0-2 count. You'd assume taking all bunts, squeeze, otherwise safety out of play.
Great pitch, just misses outside. The whole dugout wanted it. That was a ball, but a gorgeous place to put it, and just missed.
The whole dugout, the first 3 rows behind the dugout.
Everyone in the stadium kind of went up a little bit there.
Yeah. A lot of maroon and white wanted that call. Great pitch, great 0-2 pitch.
1-2 the count. Here it comes. Hard line shot, diving catch. Riley Sarton steps on the bag. Double play, Texas A&M.
That's your top 10. If I had the Sports Center theme,
yeah, and so now for Texas A&M, you've got, I'm trying to see who's out there. They pinch ran somebody. Oh, Tadria Cini is out there at second base. Unbelievable speed at second for Texas A&M. And Ashlyn Walls, Morgan Smith, Kelby Fortenberry. If you're the Aggies, you really got to like your spot here, Lou. You got a lot of people that can make a lot of things happen coming up.
Great wheels at the plate, can bunt, runner at second, top of the order behind her.
Middle
Everything set up perfectly.
Middle infielders are in. The corners are about a third of the way in. Here's the first pitch from Flores to Walls. Shows bunt, pulls it back. It is a ball, 1-0.
Boy, the third baseman, we've seen Brindley from McNeese make some great plays. She's crashing hard, as you'd expect, showing bunt. And Walls, opening weekend, saw her lay down a couple of bunts. She knows how to play small ball.
Showing again. Drops it foul. Picked up there by the catcher. 1-1 the count. Again, right here, you're really just trying to move that runner into third base. If you do that, it opens up a world of possibilities. Wild pitches, sacrifice flies, errors. Right now with the runner at second, still a challenge defensively, but it's much more pressure if she's over at third.
And the top of the order on deck.
Yeah.
I mean, 1, 2, 3. Fortenberry, Sarton, and let us not forget, they're going to re-enter Smith to bat in the 1 spot.
And misses on that bunt attempt. That was a bit up in the zone, and it's 1-2 the count now against Ashlyn Walls.
Would not be surprised, though, if they have the bunt still on. It depends on the confidence you have in Walls bunting at the plate. Getting Cini at third is the top priority, obviously.
Yeah, we'll see if they try to work her on the outer half here as a left-handed hitter. Cini at second, the pinch runner. We're in the international tiebreaker here in the 8th. So the pitch goes outside line drive, base hit left field. They're going to hold the runner at third base. 2-strike hitting for Ashlyn Walls, and the Aggies have the winning run 60 feet away.
Clutch, failed to execute the sacrifice bunt, get the runner over, down in the count 0-2. Very next pitch, let's not waste any time. Very next pitch goes the opposite way and just slaps the ball, into left field for the single. And now everything's set up. I would expect McNeese to walk Sani to set up bases loaded so they have the force out at home.
Hey, but then you got Kelby Fortenberry up. So
I know. There's no good answers now for McNeese.
Walls is at third. She might move on this play. Infield is way in for McNeese. Nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. Morgan Smith to the plate, has a hit today. Flores ready. Here's the pitch. Taken all the way. It's a ball.
We've seen Smith hit a home run on Wednesday. I've seen her. She could drive the ball to the outfield. It's not just because of the home run. We've seen her drive the ball. So she's not just a slapper, someone who in this situation would actually be at a disadvantage with the play at the plate. She can drive the ball.
1-0 pitch. Chopped foul off of her body in the batter's box. And that'll even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Todger-Cini, the pinch runner, the freshman, is at third base. Ashlyn Walls at first base. And you can bet Joe Evans is right as close as she can get to Todger-Cini, her freshman, making sure she knows exactly what she needs to be doing.
Everything's crystal clear in this situation.
Time called as James Landreneau is going to be out to talk to the home plate umpire. He's going to make a pitching change. Yeah.
2 pitches into a batter with first and third, no outs.
He's going to bring in, Alea Seneca.
Left field change.
Yeah, Alea Seneca is going to go into left field and replace Justice McClain. I can only imagine that that's just somebody with a big arm that could possibly try to get someone at the plate.
If we were to go to the 9th or beyond and McClain's spot in the batting order were to come back up again, she's hitting.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's not go beyond the 8th inning. Let's not have McClain come back up in the order. Let's end it here, first and third, and nobody out.
Yeah, 1-1 our score. Aggies with the winning run at third. We're in extra innings here in the 8th. Infield way in for McNeese. Outfield in about a good 2 or 3 steps. Morgan Smith at the plate, the freshman. 1-1 the count. Here is the pitch. This one in the air to shallow left field, backing up near the line. Here comes the throw home. It's caught. The throw to the plate. It's a good one. She is safe. Slides under. Texas A&M wins it.
Close play at the plate. Great throw from the left fielder, Seneca. Sani just slides in safe. The home plate umpire was all over it. What an incredible game. Aggies get back on the winning track, bounce back from losing to Liberty. But what a play, what a throw from Seneca in left field. That substitution they made, now you see why. They made that. McNeese head coach obviously knowing what he was doing, but the speed of Sani a little too much.
Yeah.